For joining us for the interview portion of the Data Speaks competition created in partnership with RFG 2018 and Sequent. I'm Nicole Doucette, a science communications specialist from Sequent, and I'm joined today by Adebayo from the University of Science and Technology of China. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And so your original abstract title was S-wave velocity structure of Cameroon, West Africa from joint inversion of receiver function, Rayleigh wave dispersion, and ellipticity measurements.
Yeah.
So what is your revised non-specialist abstract title?
Oh, my revised title is developing accurate image of the subsurface using 3 types of data for natural hazard reduction.
Great. So what question are you trying to answer?
I'm a seismologist. I use seismic wave to image the subsurface. Basically, that means I could image what is under where you're sitting right now. Unfortunately, the seismic waves I'm using are coming from natural hazards such as earthquake, volcanic eruptions, and tsunami, and which is known to cause a lot of damage to lives and properties. And this kind of pictures will remind you of such damages that leaves people homeless and damage a lot of properties. And so basically, we can predict this kind of event, and also it doesn't know political boundaries. So what we're trying to do is to limit their negative impact on the society. And to do that, because seismic waves, their impact depend on different places. The impact at different places depends on the subsurface property. So we're trying to develop 3D images of the subsurface, which is useful for the engineers to develop earthquake-resistant building and to give early warning signals when this occurs.
Great. And so what concept then would someone need to understand your research?
Yeah, great. Basically, we are focusing on earthquakes, and I would anybody who wants to understand my research needs to understand how earthquake occurs and their effect on the society. So I've got an egg. Everybody knows what an egg is. This is like our planet Earth, and egg has a shell outside. Unfortunately, the Earth is like this, has a shell outside of it, but the shell is not just uniform like this. So it's just like broken into several pieces like this. And as you see the species, they don't just stay, they move relative to each other. So in times we have Indian bombing into Asia. So as they move, they could move past each other, they could move into each other. And as they do that, they get stuck. Part of it gets stuck, and while others are moving, they store a lot of energy inside. So as they suddenly, like for example, if this is moving, as I pull this apart, suddenly we have this pull, and there's a release of energy. And when that happens, it's just like dropping water, and you see there's a wave moving, and as this wave moves, it shakes the subsurface, and it causes both sideways movement and vertical movement, which the buildings cannot resist, and then it causes collapse, and that's the concept of how earthquakes happen and the cause collapse.
And so what role then does data play in your research?
Essentially data is critical, is the heart of seismology research. Until we were able to record these shakings in the subsurface, we were not able to understand the concept of earthquakes and how we could mitigate their effect. So basically, there are 3 things we need to consider when we talk about data: the quality, because earthquakes don't happen every time, we need to acquire this data for a range of years to have quality data to work with. And the third thing is resolution. And what that means is we need to sample as many points as possible. So we need to deploy many stations in an area to get accurate image of the subsurface. So data essentially is everything, because without good data, you could not proceed to the other steps.
Right. Okay, great. And so why was it important for you to come here today and to share your data and your research?
I believe sharing the research is as important as doing the research. Because, for example, 2 things. My research is funded with taxpayers' money. So it's important for me to give feedback to the public for them to get to know what I'm doing and how I'm trying to save lives and properties. Secondly, I need to let the people who are in places to make policies understand my research, to also be able to see what I'm doing is worthwhile and give their support to my research. And thirdly, it is giving me personal gratification. I'm committed to open science, and I'm also interested in collaborating and connecting with other scientists.
Great. Thanks for joining us today, Adebayo.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So once again, this is the Data Speaks competition at RFG 2018, created in partnership with Sequent. You can watch all the videos on YouTube or Twitter, #CDataSpeak.